Okay, I'm going to say about 40 minutes took me to boil. Okay, pardon the mess, but whatever, that's me. Here's the version of the wood gas stove that I've come up with at this point, which is a number 10 can with another number 10 can inside of it. What I did was I don't have the right size can for inside, so I split another number 10 can first to take the top and bottom off, and then take a 1-inch slice out of it, and then you overlap it by an inch, and then you screw sheet metal screws into it and make a nice sleeve, and that's what I did. But I saved the bottom and I put it down here. It's under these tent pins here, these tent pegs. I mean, it's resting on that, so I'll get to that in a second. And so here's a beef stew can. This, I think, is just the right top for this. The top is almost as important as the wood gas stove itself, because if you get this right, it allows the flame to do what you need without a lot of smoke. So we'll talk about that in a second. And then down inside, I've got basically the bottom of this same type of can, but sliced around here and then splayed out with a lot of holes drilled in the bottom. So it's taken the place. I don't know if you can see it. I splayed it out. It's upside down with the rim facing up. And I'll show you that inside in a minute. Okay, so I circled around with my tin snips out to just there's like a ridge here just before that ridge, and then I snipped in, snip all the way around, like about 1/8 or 3/16 apart, to kind of ease that transition from around this corner. You know, the air is going to go around that corner. Plus, it kind of entrains the air to swirl a little bit, which is great because it keeps the flame more in the center, which you want. Okay, so that's what I did, and so everything's nestled into the little rings. The sleeve inside here is nestled in that ring, so you have air flowing up through that cavity. And then this top can, see, it just rests in there, so that's great. I'll talk about that top in a minute. So let's take it apart. I've got not only these tent pegs, but some more inside. Okay, that just gives me something to rest it on without squashing those little tabs down again. Okay, so this is the bottom that I took off that inside number 10 can, and I reused it to catch any ash and stuff falling down so it doesn't burn up the surrounding world. I'm going to pop those pegs out. Okay, I got the pegs out, and I'm going to flip it over and show you what's going on inside. Okay. See? Okay, so I made this sleeve, like I said, and it's just the right diameter to fit into that groove. So that gives you a good 1/4 inch between the inside and outside cans for the air to come up. I got 5/16 holes up here, 16 of them. So these pins trap this bottom cover. This sits on here, on these pins, which rests here. So it's just above. It's just above the ground, and then you've got the intake holes, 32 3/8 inch holes. You could put more. I think I might put even more on there. And then so the sleeve, the bottom of the sleeve is like halfway. I mean, it's like right there. So some of the air comes in and bangs onto the sleeve and goes up, and most of it goes underneath. Show you what's going on underneath. I did some metal work here. Snip, snip, snip. Bend those pieces in. The pieces that I snipped and bent them in, and it kind of tells the air where to go. Like it comes in and bang, I got to go up here, and I can't just swirl around and not know what to do. It tells it what to do. But I did that because at first I wanted this whole thing to be filled with material that I'm going to burn or whatever, and then the bottom would be resting, the interior bottom would be resting on top of these, and that worked great. Whoops. It's kind of a swastika thing, but that worked great, but there's just too much material on fire at once, or gassing out at once. And the flame was just ridiculous. What a waste. It was just too big. So what I did was I moved the bottom up a little bit. I don't know. It's not halfway, but it's almost halfway up. So now this is the new bottom here instead of down here. So but you can do it. You do what you want. If you want it to rest on there, this system here for giving you something to sit on is good. That worked fine, and this is rugged enough, considering we've got this bend here. It's kind of a sturdy enough. Plus, I saved a little bit of the ring on the bottom. That's really stout, so that actually helps quite a bit. Okay, so what I did, I put some more tent pegs in. I had to trim them down a little bit to get them in there. I put two more tent pegs to hold that bottom up, and there they are sticking through. Okay, you can't do much fancy with that piece in the middle because you got to get it around these sheet metal screws, so it's pretty much got to be one flat disc. And when I have trouble. I've been experimenting big time with these things, and I've been having trouble getting sticks to burn right, like real wood to burn right. So what I needed to do was, I found what was good. You get some bigger holes, but the smaller ones act like jets, and that's good. But in the middle, you need a big hole. So what I did, I drilled a bunch of holes, and then I snipped in between, and I made a big hole right there. It was too big, though. So what I did was I spanned across it with a piece of can that I bent. No, wait, you can see it from the bottom. See what I did? I screwed down into that bent piece. So what happens is the ashes come down and they lay in there. They lay in this, and they get heated up until they turn to dust and fall out. So that really works good. What you need is a way for the ashes to get out of there. And that central point allows enough air and allows a good escape for coals. The coals will sit in there and finish up burning and then go away. They fall down. Okay. And that's where I've got the holes at. Now you can turn this into a direct a gasifier stove, wood gas stove, so that it turns stuff into charcoal. I don't want to do that. I want to burn everything. That's why this would be overkill as far as a wood gas stove. This would be too much air coming up the bottom and not enough air coming out here. You would need more holes up here to knock down that flame, suppress it, and you would need less of these holes. But what I really want is a campfire that burns pretty clean. So this is more like this is a combination of hobo stove and a wood gas stove. Not really anything new. You can get like a solo stove is very similar. So I just like to try my hand at making stuff, and this one works good. I think that X in the middle is helpful to tell the air where to go. So what happens, it comes in here, and then some of it hits here and goes up, and some of it just goes right in, and these things are directed upwards. I even had these just for a little extra blast of air for when I had the bottom was down here. I think that was too much, but it doesn't matter because now the bottom's up here, so who cares? It doesn't matter. So there you go, those are 3/8 holes. There's plastic all over these cans, so this black is the plastic. It didn't get burnt all the way off, something like this did here. So this here is rigid enough to hold it up. It only has to hold the weight of whatever material's inside the can. This can here holds the weight of the pot or whatever you're cooking. So that's more than sturdy enough to hold a gallon of water, which I have tried. No, that's no big deal. It's just kind of rest. These cans here, it's pretty stout. It's these other ones that are kind of flimsy, and you need to be careful how much. Probably ought to talk about this thing here. And you see this edge here is smaller than this can, so there's a gap. See, the can rests in here. There's a gap between this edge and the inside of this can. So what I did was I filled that up with air. I'm trying to fill it up with air as like a buffer between the edge of the can and the flame that's coming up. Because flame, when it touches can, it likes to get all smoky. So can or pot or whatever, any type of metal, it just interrupts the burn. So air on air keeps it cleaner for longer. And then this acts. I was wondering, well, this wasn't quite enough opening before, and then I said, well, I got to make more openings. Should I bend it in or should I bend it out? Well, let's try in first, and that worked great because it kind of encapsulates that air layer, and then whatever air gets heated up goes in this hole and gets heated up, shoots over to this side, and then comes up and acts like a buffer against that wall, and so all the flame comes out here. It really works good. It's the best thing I've come up with so far. So it's short, so we're close to the flame. That's another reason I raised this up. If you're going to have a campfire, you don't want the flame way down here, because it just swirls around and all you get is hot air coming out. It really does. You really do need the flame to hit your pan if you're going to boil anything. Otherwise, it's going to take 2 days. It's just going to bring it to a simmer. It's going to be useless. You want a rolling boil, you better get the flame all the way up here. So I brought this up, brought the bottom of it up so the flame's closer, the fire's closer, and I brought this one down. I had a taller can. I used the shorter can, so now we're closer. And let's put it back together. I'm going to light something on fire. Okay, so here it is upside down again. And that's what it looks like. And then this piece sits right on top. Kind of go, these rings here go in the groove. And then I put the tent pins across, tent pegs. And then you can flip it up. Okay, I got some rolled up toilet paper with petroleum jelly on it, like a jelly roll kind of thing. 2 little pieces of that. With some bamboo, that kind of weed that grows in my yard. This is the bamboo stuff here. That stuff burns great, so good kindling. And then then I've got these. I've chopped up some hemlocks branches, and I'll burn this stuff later. This is beech. So you can put big chunks in here. That's why I like it. You can do just small stuff, or once it burns down, you can use those coals to burn that bigger stuff. I actually have 1 or 2 pieces of big stuff in there right now. So I'll just set this somewhere and light it on fire. Let's see how it goes here. And I boil a half gallon of water. Probably. That bamboo stuff smokes a little bit, so this thing's going to smoke until the heat builds up, as you know, I'm sure. And then when that outer can heats up, we'll draw some nice warm air up to help the burn out. If you can see that black smoke there, that's from the paper towel. So right now you can put your pot on if you don't want to waste any of that flame. But it's kind of sooty, so you're going to get soot. Don't matter what you do, you're going to get soot on if you're actually burning the wood. If you're just gasifying it, you can get away without a lot of soot. But since I'm burning the wood after it gasifies down into charcoal, then I'm going to get soot. I'm just trying to limit the smoke. I don't want to breathe this soot. Put it on the can, I'll put it on the pan, that's alright. I'll clean it off. Another good thing about this, I have a rocket stove, but that rocket stove puts out a lot of ash onto your pot. And I don't like that. I'll put this on. See how that goes. The key to not getting a lot of gunk on your pot is to heat it up first and then put the water in. Put a little water at a time in. That flame ain't quite going just yet, but it's not very smoky though. Okay, I gotta put some water in or else it's gonna have a problem. There we go. I don't know where I should be for the best view of the smoke. There's definitely a little bit. You're gonna get that. You're burning wood. If you got a yellow flame, that yellow is carbon that's getting knocked off the wood. And if you interrupt that flame, it's going to turn to soot or smoke. Doesn't matter what you do. The yellow means carbon. If it was pure gasification, it would be no yellow. It would be blue. You probably wouldn't even see it during the day. I don't know if you can see how much smoke we got going. See it? Yeah, you can see it there. That's better. There's definitely smoke, but we got a little breeze too, so. See, here's that's a pretty good sized chunk. You can't just gasify that. In anything I've made, anyway. But this one works because it's bigger. You need a big can. You need a big can to do that. So you still get a crazy flame, which I don't like. You're wasting, but that's the wind blowing it over this way. Whoa, yeah, see? So you can imagine how crazy that flame would be if I had that thing full of material. Okay, that water in there is boiling now. I'm gonna add more. Yeah, see how that cold makes it smoky. Anyways, so yeah, when we get down towards the bottom, that flame's going to be even crazier. I may even put some more holes on top to help knock it down. That's what the flame looks like. Pretty crazy, huh? Pretty crazy, but if you're just going to boil water, then you don't care if it's a crazy flame. So that'll die down, and then I'll have coals on the bottom, and I'll just throw chunks in, and you'll have a nice moderate flame that you can cook an egg on or whatever, or a bigger flame if you want, and keep boiling. I'm just curious how clean this one's gonna burn. See, right now it's burning almost smokeless. So I think we're getting towards the bottom of the pile in there. Holy moly, that's crazy. That's a ton of flame, really. I don't think I covered the bottom enough, you know, to restrict the airflow. So that's something touchy-feely that you can do. If you wanted that to go slower, you could restrict those openings down in there. It's starting to hiss. I gotta put more in here in a minute. So whatever you want to do with that, you can do it, with that setup. If you want to do straight gasification, you can try that. You just need more holes in the top, and the inside can. You figure it out. So, but you need wood, you need these bigger cans for the wood. You can't get away with a small can. Okay, now I need a stick. So this we got nice embers down there. This is what you don't usually get with a wood gas stove, as a way to relight it. Put something smaller in. Put these big ones in. Yeah, so that was about 12 minutes of burn. Should really throw a stick in there first. That's what you gotta do. Throw some bamboo in. That's all you gotta do. And then that's going. Just needs a little flame. Okay, you can see a little bit of swirl there. I don't know if you can. But that's what I want. So that the flame pokes up in the middle. Alright, so we're going again. I just put more water in. So it's about 15-minute mark. On my other wood gas stoves, it takes between 35 and 55 minutes to boil water. But that's in freezing weather too. Okay, there we go. And we're back going. So you can make a more moderate flame after it's done burning out. If you want. You can see the soot. It's inevitable. If you're burning wood, you're going to get soot. Okay, I'm going to say about 40 minutes took me to boil. Rolling boil. Yeah. 40 minutes. I got the water up to here. It's a little over a half gallon. I'm going to cook some noodles. So the good thing is I can keep this going as long as I want. Let it die down, start it back up, whatever. You can't really do that with a wood gas stove. Alright, I think that's good. Talk to you later.